will you say like, hey, this dude's trash?
Well, I think we all feel like we have to have a reason.
Yeah.
If you go, I just feel like this guy's creepy, there's not like hard evidence to say that.
I've had it before where I've told friends before where it's like, no, what? Really?
You have?
Yeah.
Like what? Or do you just play the game where you go, what do you like about him?
Yeah, I've asked that, or I'm just like, or I've been like, nah, I think you could, I think you could do better. Like
You
I
think you could
had,
do better? Did
yeah,
they
yeah.
listen?
Um, eh, debatable. No. Yeah,
Have you had
I've had.
anyone do it to you?
Ooh, you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Two Stand Up Gals. I am your co host, Erica Spira, and I'm kind of flying solo today because, as you guys know, T is on vacation. And if you're not following along, you should, as T is the queen of selfies on vacation. She takes the most photos of anybody I know, and she's having the time of her life in Turks and Caicos. So look her up, Teresa De Gaetano. Follow along. She's one of my favorite vacation follows, and I'm happy she's having a nice week off in the sun. And I tapped in a friend of the pod, as we said, friends only on the pod. I have my good buddy Jordan Fisher. Welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Hello,
My,
hello. Thank you
my
for
first
tapping
time
in
on the
this week.
rebrand.
The rebrand, I know, first time.
Yeah.
Welcome for being a stand-up gal.
Yeah, happy to be here.
I know, as you know, we're kind of just a chit chat pod now. We talk bits and stuff, so obviously you fit the bill. So welcome
Yeah,
back
of
to the show.
course. Of course.
I know. I'm like, we do some updates up top. I don't know. I guess your most recent update is you've blown up with the Gangster Chef on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, very unexpected. Thug Peach is popping off. You know what's funny? I was just shooting this thing the other day in Union Square, like this like man on the street mock interview kind of segment thing that I got like hired to do. And I'm sitting there with the person that I'm interviewing, and we have like some downtime. And he's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a comic and stuff." He's like, "Oh, can I follow you?" And I was like, "Sure." And I give him, he hands me his phone. I type in my Instagram. I give it back to him. He's like, "Oh, I'm already following you." He's like, "Oh, wait a minute, you're Gangster Chef?" I was like,
Oh my
"Yeah."
god!
He
No
was like,
way!
"Dude, we send your stuff all the time." I was like, "Yeah, that's me." Because it's like nobody can tell it's me. Because Gangster, like that character,
Really?
yeah, that character versus me are so different. Like I sound different. Like he's so what up, suckers? And I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Like it's so like it's very like Clark Kent Superman, type deal where it's like you can't tell it's me until I tell you it's actually me.
I get, or maybe because your arms aren't out either. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're like secretly jacked.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's great. It's very flattering. He's like, wait, I already follow you. I'm a
Right.
big
Yeah.
fan
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Gangster Chef.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Does anybody like comment or message you that they're like, hey, I actually made the recipe too, though, and the recipe is good? Because I'm like, you
Yes.
do actually make good recipes on there.
Yeah, they do that. And then also like, I'm just pulling recipes from online. Like I
Yeah.
don't have like all these in my head. Like I don't know how to make this shit. I just find them, online and then just, make it funny. So people are like, "What's the recipe?" I'm like, "Here." Like I'm like from some blog or whatever, like here it is.
Right.
Like this is how it is. But yeah, people are like, "Oh, this looks good," or I want to make this, or they'll send me like they'll tag me in their stories of like actually making it, you know?
Yeah,
And
because
they're like,
I've been lucky enough to be around when Gangster Chef was happening and being filmed, and I got to be
Yeah.
a taste tester, and I was like, yeah, this is actually good, and a lot of them you actually make for the first time,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
like
like, yeah, it's not that
everything
hard.
I'm like making for the first time on camera, and then like it's a genuine reaction at the end when I taste it. I'm like, oh shit, this is actually great.
Yeah, I think the shashuka one was the first time you ever
Mhm.
made shashuka,
Yep, yep,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah. Chicken
DM Jordan
parm,
your
those
suggestions.
those chocolate chip cookies. I think I want to do a creme brulee next.
Oh, that would be good. But you got to get a butane torch, I think.
You think I didn't buy a butane torch here? You think I didn't go on Amazon and give Jeff Bezos $18
Oh,
and
they're
get a
not that expensive?
butane torch? No, they're not expensive at all.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
you
they'd
can
be
get
way
yeah, you
more.
can get it for like $20. You just got to buy the gas for another like $10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Hmm.
didn't know the gate. I thought it was a big gateway to the Butane Torch Society.
No, no.
Oh shit! I thought it was
Yeah,
way more.
yeah.
Oh, good news for everybody out there.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So
All
it's
right.
been a hit. It's been a hit.
Yeah, I was like that. That would film well. Get some fire in there.
Right. Yeah. Flame
Hell
on.
yeah. And it's all improvised, which is very impressive.
Yeah, I'm just improvising the whole time. People have been asking me that too. They're like, "Are you improvising or are you writing this stuff down?" I was like, "Nah, man. I'm just thinking of stuff on the spot, just being stupid."
Well, that's a true talent, so you deserve it. Very excited to see it.
Thanks, thanks. We'll see if people come out to these shows. Come out to the shows.
I know, but now it's like, do you have to at the end of your stand-up sets change and be Gangster Chef for a minute? That's the real question. Do they
No,
want to see it?
not happening.
No.
Not happening.
They don't
Because
want a
that's
minute of Gangster Chef. I think they
n-
want a little bit of a wife beater and a bonnet on stage. I think people want to see it.
no. Because here's the thing. I look at it. I look at this the same way. I treat it the same way you would treat any SNL character or sitcom
Mm,
character or whatever. Like most people came out to stand-up shows to see somebody that they saw on TV. They didn't realize that that person was doing stand-up for 15 years before they got cast on some television show.
yeah,
And
true.
then, if you come and see them on the road, you're not gonna all of a sudden be like, be Michael Scott. It's like, no, like
Mm,
that's a character. It's.
well, all right, but like Marcelo Hernandez, right, has blown up, or
Mm-hmm.
he has the one sketch where he does what's the character? It was in the espresso
Domingo.
skit. Yeah, usually at the beginning of his set, he'll do the voice for a second and give everyone like the satisfaction,
Yeah.
and he'll do it. He'll be like, "All right, take your phone out." Da da da. Granted, he's doing like some colleges and stuff. I think where they're going really nuts
Yeah.
for it.
It's
So I
so
think
crazy.
maybe that's the in between where you're like, I'll do the
Yeah.
voice for a second and I'll give
Yeah.
you a glimpse, and it's like, all
Yeah.
right. But maybe it's if people are yelling it out type thing.
Yeah, I'll do that because right now it's like I don't know if people are showing like there have been a handful of people after shows that be like, we love the cooking videos, like and came out because I saw the
Mm.
cooking videos. I'm like, cool, but it's not enough to the point where I'm coming out where people are like, yeah, Thug Peach, like yelling that. Like if I come out and people actually know me from the thing,
Yeah,
from the Gangster Chef stuff, then I'll just like straight up like open the show like, what up, suckers, but
true. Maybe
but
it's a merch move actually.
yeah, I think it will be.
Mm.
Yeah, I got to sell
That makes more sense. Yeah.
some kitchen towels or some aprons. You know,
Yeah, it could work. Could work that
yeah,
way. But
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited to see where Thug Peach takes you.
yeah. I've had some chefs in the DMs, like legit chefs.
That'd
Like,
be fun.
yeah, so we'll see. And then somebody hit me up to do Next Level Chef on Fox.
I
Like
didn't. I don't even know what that is. Is it
it's
like
like a
TV cooking show?
yeah, it's like a TV like reality competition cooking show that like has like influencers and like actual chefs and stuff.
Oh shit! Who hosts it?
Gordon Ramsay might be on it.
Oh, I love him. Well, you know, I told you my Instagram chef crush, right?
Who?
Owen Hahn. I think is so hot.
Owen Hahn. Let me
I think
look
he's
up
like
Owen
half
Hahn.
Chinese, half Italian. He's
I
so
mean, you got
sexy.
Han in there. Let's see.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
No,
wait,
he's
wait, wait.
so fine. He's like the sandwich guy, I think.
Yeah, okay, this
He
guy.
popped up in my feed years ago, and I was like, "Who's
You
this?"
were like
He's so fine. I mean, great teeth, obviously.
teeth. That's the big one
Hands
for
as hell.
Erica
But
is
now
teeth.
he's really blown up now that I'm like, well, he feels
Damn.
very out of reach. But please meet Owen Hahn for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll work on that.
Please get Owen Hahn on that show.
Yeah,
Invite me
yeah.
to the
That's
green
the
room.
that's the next step.
I know. All right. Well, we have some structure to the show here, a little bit.
Mhm.
That I'm curious. I'm like, what do we want to start with? I actually was curious to ask you about this.
Okay.
Um, so we have a segment we haven't done in a while, actually, called "Talking to God," which is a vague, like, could be universe, could be whatever you believe in. And I don't know if a lot of people know this about you, that your family actually ran a funeral home,
Mhm.
and you have bits about this. You even like pitched a pilot about a funeral home show.
Yeah.
And we have never actually directly talked about like your background and what your beliefs are, as I know you have many people in your family that are religious and believe,
Yeah.
and you're from the South. So I am curious, like, what is that like, first of all, growing up in a funeral home and being around many different types of faiths? That how has
Mm.
that shaped you and like what you believe in going
Um
forward, especially going from the South to New York City, which is very much a godless town for
yeah,
the most
truly.
part.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like unless you're Jewish, because that's
Right, yeah.
predominantly New York.
Yeah. Truly. It's interesting because so my granddad owns the funeral home. His father used to preach at White Rock Baptist Church in Durham, North Carolina, which is like
Mm,
directly across the street from the funeral home pretty much. Um so it's like, religion and faith were like always in like our family, of course, and then, you're burying people to go on to supposed afterlife and all that stuff. Um and I grew up like super really like my parents, you know this, but your listeners don't like, very Christian household, no Harry Potter, no Halloween, um, super strict with that kind of stuff. And now at this point, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not like super religious. I'm I'm religious in pockets,
mhm.
I suppose,
I feel like
Like
that's most millennials.
yeah, yeah, truly. Where I'm like, man, I think religion itself is bullshit. Like as far as like the organized religion of it all,
Mhm.
and I think like I'm just like believe what you want to believe. That's whatever. Like, and I'm kind of like, who knows? I guess maybe that would be agnostic, considered agnostic. But I'm like, who knows? Maybe. But also, I'm like, man, you look at how big the universe is. You're gonna sit here and tell me this one dude, Jesus,
Mhm.
like, eh, what are we doing? Like I don't think we're the only ones in existence. I don't think, he's the one exact one, you know? Um like if that were the I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. The universe is too big for it to be like, "Oh, this is the only person in all of the universe and if not, then you're fucked." And
Yeah,
it's
no, I
just
get that.
story like I think it's stories. Like I think like, the Bible's been manipulated over time. Um so I mean, I feel like a spirit at times, There's definitely places where it's like, oh, you feel the presence of like God or whatever that is, but um yeah, I'm just not like I don't know. I think religion has been bastardized over the years. Especially too cuz I talked to my dad about it. Like my dad's religious and I asked him about it like when I was younger one time like being a black American. I'm like black people didn't believe in Christianity when we were not in America. So I'm like, isn't
Mm.
that kind of weird that like, like we're forced to believe this and like that we're so like staunch about it? Like, isn't that doesn't that not make sense really? You know? So I don't
Yeah,
know.
like, specifically to be that
Yeah.
branch of religion. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. To like get enslaved and then forced into like believing Christianity. I'm like, this doesn't really add up for me. you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, of course, like, dealing with the funeral home, like you're gonna have people that are like, you know, religious and stuff. My mom just got baptized too,
Oh,
which
really?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
'Cause I felt like in general your mom was more religious than your dad.
No, I think my dad is like I think my mom is like become more outward spoken about it recently.
Mhm.
At least just like in how she carries herself and like what like I've never heard my mom talk about religion as much as she has more than recently.
Oh,
you
okay.
know like especially like being involved in the church, like she's back in church and all that kind of stuff, and then like the baptism and stuff, and then this was like after her recent divorce, which I think that's like when you're done with men once you get baptized. You're just like, I'm gonna give it to Jesus and God, the only men that can't hurt me. And you gotta literally get baptized and wash all those other dusty motherfuckers off you off of
I
you.
mean,
you're just
maybe.
like you're like, God, wash me of all these shitty men, and I
Maybe.
give my life to you.
Yeah,
Um,
or I mean, also it's common. I mean, two things I feel like are common with turning to religion. One is just a general if you feel lost a little
hmm
bit and you're looking for some type of guidance.
hmm
But another one, which is why I was curious to ask you about it, is death in general. So, like, if
yeah,
you grew up in a funeral home environment, whether you're like there after school a lot or,
yeah,
working there part time, whatever it is, it's like dealing with death for many people is very hard,
yeah.
and so people that are truly atheists, I'm always curious, like, how do they deal with death? It seems a lot harder if you really believe there is no afterlife in any sense or form.
I think it's easier.
You do think it's easier?
Yeah, because then it's like it's nothing. Like it's like, where were you before you were born? Like, you didn't know existence before you were born. So I think it's just you return to that. Like, you return to not knowing anything exists. Like, that's the way I feel. I think people just like created the afterlife because they were trying to deal with the fact that they weren't going to be around anymore. And it's like, oh, I don't get to watch people live. I don't get to live. I don't get to talk to people. Well, maybe when I die, I get to live forever. Like, I think it's just like, I think it's like a, just a way to rationalize, death. And
No, that's what I meant. Yeah, like it's easier to believe in something when it comes to death, is what I'm saying.
yeah, but I think it's easier not to believe in something just because it's like, all right, well then once I'm dead, it's like there's nothing else and it's okay. Like, it's the end. Like, once the movie's over, the movie's over.
Yeah, I meant for like the people that are still on Earth.
Yeah.
Like when you lose somebody, it's almost easier,
Oh,
especially
oh,
in terms
oh,
of like
oh. So
comforting
you're
people.
still alive, like saying like, oh, I'll see my
Yeah.
friends again at some point.
Yeah, like it's, when if you really think like they're gone and they're gone forever, I'll never see
Yeah.
them again. And especially when it comes to comforting people,
Hmm.
if I have friends that are atheists and they lose people, it's harder to think of like what do I say to comfort them, or even if they have somebody in their life that's just like sick.
Yeah.
Like it's like, you can't really say like, "Oh, I'll pray for you," or this and that. Like,
Right.
it's like, what do you say to comfort people in those times?
Yeah. I
Is a
kind
lot
of,
harder because 'cause you're like,
yeah.
"Ugh, I don't wanna offend them because I know they don't believe in XYZ." So what do you say? And especially if they do lose that person and they believe like,
Yeah.
"That's it, it's done."
Yeah. It would be kind of nice if it is nothing afterwards, because like if I have to have an afterlife, then that means I still have some form of consciousness and existence, and that means I still am stuck with these fucking thoughts all the time. So I'm like, can I just be done? Like, once it's done, it's like, all right, I don't have to worry about shit. I don't have to see that shitty family member or that person from
Yeah,
high school anymore. Like, it's done. It's over.
true. I mean, Dov Davidoff has one of my favorite bits about afterlife where he's like, um, people say like, "Oh, heaven is like seeing your family for an
Hmm.
eternity," and he's like, "Your whole family?
Right.
Forever?"
Yeah.
He's
Right.
like, "All of them?" He's like, "I think I might get there and see them and be like, 'Hey,' and kinda keep walking," and they're like, "Wait, come
Yeah.
over here," and he's like, "Ah,
What do you
no."
think? What do you think? Not to put you on the spot here. What do you think
That's
of
all right.
Dove as like attractiveness?
I thought you already know the answer to this question. Is that why you're asking me?
No, I've maybe you've told me, but I've forgotten because I've heard like a
Oh. Oh,
couple
I think he's
handful of,
hot.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, okay, all
Yeah,
right,
he's
because
very
I've
hot.
I've heard a couple with it. Like, there's somebody recently that was like, oh, I got a crush on this person. I was like, who? And she's like, I was like, oh, this must be a thing. Like, this is like,
Oh, I was like, I'm pretty sure that was me. I was like, "Oh, I have a
no,
little
no,
crush on
no, it was
Dov."
somebody else.
Oh.
I won't say
No,
on the
he's an
pod right
attractive
now.
dude, especially for his age bracket, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, he's aged very well. He's very attractive. I mean, he's also very funny, so that always helps.
yeah.
But no, he takes care of himself. He's a good-looking guy. Yeah.
He does. But I think there's like some kind of rhythm to him that women pick up on that
He's got a
they,
swag. Yeah.
yeah, there's like a swag, and then he's
Mhm.
kind of like annoyed like about shit, but then also like is like intelligent, so like women are like, ah,
Yeah.
there's something about his just like bristly
Mhm.
nature that I like, you know.
He's the combo of, like, doesn't take shit, a little tough, but also very sweet.
Mhm.
So you're like you get a little bit of everything, and
Yeah.
that's what yeah, he's got kind of, like, the 3 things to him, where
Yeah.
you're a little bit of a tough, but
Yeah.
nice, where you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'd get all 3 with you." You're like, "Okay,
Okay.
I like it." Yeah.
Yeah. You got to
Yeah,
be a
he's a yeah, and I've definitely said this to you, so,
okay.
like, I don't know if someone recently did or this is back in
No,
your mind.
somebody literally like last week, somebody else last week was like, "Oh, I got a crush on this person." I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit."
No, I was like, I definitely do. I'm like, if he asked me out, I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I'd break my comic role for Dov for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
No, he's a
All right.
good-looking guy. Um,
That's
yeah,
funny.
everybody go look him up.
No, he's funny, dude.
He's very funny. And,
Yeah.
well, if you watch the show, if anybody listening watch the show Crashing on HBO, he actually
Mhm.
plays a huge dick in that show. He's,
Mhm.
like, very unlikable in that show. And
Yeah.
then you go on to meet him in person, you're like, "Oh, you're actually a very nice guy."
Yeah. Yeah.
Sidetrack.
Right.
Um, yeah. So sorry to put you on the spot about religious talk, but I was always curious because I was like, "Oh, yeah, you grew up in funeral homes." which I
Yeah.
was like, that has to be very interesting.
Well, I was just
You're
more
around
just
that.
like as a kid, I was just more like, that's a dead person just
Yeah,
laying there. That was my thought. I really wasn't thinking about the afterlife as a kid. I was just more like, holy shit, that person's just dead in the waiting area right there. And I'm like 9, you know.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
especially, I mean, you know me, I have a huge ass family, so I'm like, I've been to many open caskets, but
mhm,
many people, if you don't have a big family, or I guess depends on your like style of funeral, you know,
mhm.
my whole family's Catholic, so that was like common, but also, I guess majority of funerals while we were growing up, it was more common, I think, to be open casket than cremation.
Always for me, yeah,
So now it feels like everybody's getting cremated. Um,
yeah.
so I was like, yeah, you were definitely probably around a lot of open
I
caskets.
was around so many people that I don't even know.
Yeah,
just just saw them. I was like, all right.
right.
Just like, well, because like I would stay at my granddad's house, and then he'd be like, all right, I gotta go to the shop, and he couldn't leave me at home, so I'd have to roll with him. So I'd just be down in the shop, like sitting in the waiting area, just some dead body, in some casket, like for a viewing later that day, and playing that organ music. Just like this is how I'm spending my afternoon, trying to color inside the lines.
Yeah, you're like your life was like 6 feet under. You ever watch that show?
You know what? I need to watch that show. I've only seen like 2 episodes of it.
You probably would really relate to it. I watched that this past year.
It's crazy because their family is the Fisher family too.
Oh my god, yeah, I never even picked
Yeah,
up on that.
for real.
Holy shit. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
yeah. So I'm like, man,
Um, this might be a fucked up question, but did you ever touch one of the bodies?
no,
No?
no, not nobody that wasn't my own. Nobody that wasn't my
Well,
own family member.
but
You know,
yes, you have touched one. That was your own family.
yeah. But I'm also not like I'll like quick hand on the chest, and then I'm out. But
Yeah,
like never like the face, because I've seen people give like a little forehead kiss or whatever,
yeah, no, it's a
and
thing.
I'm like, no, like
Well,
not me.
I remember did I ever tell you the story that my first, like, open casket funeral was, like, my great-grandma? That
Mm,
my mom took me in the line to show me, like, what you're supposed to do at the when you pray at the casket.
oh yeah. Oh.
So she it was my grandma Grace, great grandma, and I remember like, you know, when she passed and my dad drove us down, he's like, okay, we're going to the wake and then the funeral. I'm like, okay. And my mom took me in the line. You go up, you kneel, and you like pray. And my mom's like, okay, we say a prayer. I'm like, all right. And my mom makes the sign of the cross, kisses her hand, and then like touches like my Nona's hand. And I like look at my mom, like, what the like you just touched the body?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I'm like, "What?" And then I go and I get my brother and I'm like, "Mom touched the body." He's
Right,
like,
yeah.
"What?" And I was like, "We gotta get in line." And so we get back in the line and then we go to the front, we're kneeling. My brother's like, "What'd she do?" And I said, "She did this." And I like did the sign of the cross and I kissed my hand and I touched the body and I was like, "Oh my god, it's so cold."
You're
He's like, "You do it, you
right.
do it." And then he did it and he was like, "Oh, it's so cold." Like, and then we just kept getting in the line to do it again and
Oh my
again, which
god,
is
you'll just
I
keep
mean,
getting
yeah,
over and
it was
over
bad.
again to keep touching your dead grandma.
Yeah, 'cause you know, I'm like 7,
Oh
and,
my god.
yeah, and also, you know, we're children at a thing, and so we did
I'm
it a few
surprised you
times.
wanted to do it multiple times.
I don't know, I don't know why, but, you know, we're also kids kinda bored at a funeral. We don't
Yeah.
have iPads or anything.
I
We're
was
like,
gonna say
"Alright,
no cell phones.
yeah, this is we just
Yeah.
leave children to their own devices."
Right.
And my dad catches us getting back in the line, and he's like, "What are you 2 doing?" And we get pulled. Like, I just remember my dad popping up like, "What are you?" And then I'm like, "Oh, my mom touched the body, and it's really cold." And
Mhm.
and my dad's like, "Stop, knock it off! You can't keep touching the body," and all this stuff. But I'll never forget that. My burned in my brain.
That's crazy. No, I
You
was
know, it
always
was
afraid to touch the body. I was like, I don't do. I didn't do that until I was grown.
yeah.
Like,
That's well, I saw my mom do it, and I thought it was, I
oh
guess, what you're
wow,
supposed to do. I don't know.
I'm still skittish. I'm like, I don't wanna. I'm good.
Well, not gonna lie. Anytime I like pray at the open casket, there's part of me that's also praying of just like, don't move,
Yeah,
don't
yeah. Keep
wake
your
up,
eyes closed.
don't
Yeah,
move. And it does freak me out a little bit. I'm
yeah.
like, please
Legit.
don't flinch.
If your grandma
Um,
just mouth like, "Stop touching me," you'd be like, "Oh fuck."
yeah. Ugh. Anyway,
Oh,
okay, let's move on. Other segments we have here. Do you have a walk it off? What do you want to do next?
walk it off. That's like the
Like rant or raven thing?
mm,
Anything fresh on your mind?
only thing I've thought was annoying recently is not owning anything anymore. One, okay, two things: not
Oh,
owning anything anymore, as far as like everything's subscription based now, you know?
Oh, you mean like you don't just pay one time for a thing?
Yeah. Like,
Like it
you
doesn't
know,
even give you the option?
yeah, like, whether it's some kind of software or whatever, it's like, yo, like I should be able to like there should be an option. Like the
Mhm.
government needs to step in and be like, companies have to at least allow an option to own these things. Because even the stuff that like also too, because like they'll do the subscription thing and then a year later they're like, oh, people actually like our subscription service. Now we're jacking it up even more,
Oh,
and
yeah.
especially in our line of work where we have to edit and everything. I'm like, fuck this, dude. Like, I should be able to pay like I don't know $100 for whatever this software is and keep it for eternity. And then also the whole hustle grind shit, like having multiple gigs and all that shit. It's not good. Like, it's not bragging about how much you work is not a sign of a good life to me.
It's not a flex. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
it's
a
not a
saying once that was like, "It's not a flex to brag about how busy you are." And I was like, "Ooh,
yeah.
that's a fact." Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Mhm.
And it's like it's also a sign of like how shitty our lives are, that it's like, oh yeah, I do this for work and then I wake up and I go do this and I do this. It's not a good situation to be in. Like when our parents never bragged about having three jobs. If you had three jobs in the 90s, like you were hurting.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's like, yeah, we're hurting, but now somehow we turned it into like,
Mhm.
I'm a hustler and this and that. Like you shouldn't you shouldn't be bragging about how many jobs you got
No.
or how many jobs you have to have. Like if you're doing well with one job, then that's it. Nobody brags about that. You're like, all right, I'm good. You know, like it'd be like an AIDS patient bragging about how hard their T cells are working. It's like you're sick, like
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
So I don't like that shit either. And just the whole general like recording your whole day, like the dude Ashton Hall or whatever. The dude that went viral for his morning routine.
Oh, the super fitness guy?
Yeah, big black dude that was a
Yeah.
football player or whatever, and waking up like 4 a.m.
What I loved, somebody pointed out that he woke up whatever crazy time,
Yeah,
still didn't really do anything though
yeah,
for like a whole hour and a half.
yeah.
And someone was like, I love that he basically does what I do, but it just was earlier in the day that it was like he still didn't really get
Still
going
didn't do shit, and you're just
for
sitting
like
there
an hour or
moving
two.
your camera around.
Uh-huh.
Like that, it takes you more time to move the camera around and to press
Mhm.
record, and then walk into frame. Let me walk back out of frame. Press stop.
Uh-huh.
Let me bring it up. Like it's so stupid. Like this whole like waking up. The fact that we're like show our private lives now is so insane to me, because I'm like, that was the whole point, to go home and not have people see what I'm doing. That's the whole point of
Mhm.
having a house, is like, this is your box of privacy, or nobody gets to see how you act.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I should like stop showing us that. Like, stop
Mhm.
showing us you waking up and getting dressed and all this shit, dunking your face in water. Nobody gives a fuck.
I mean, it's weird because it's like some people love this kind of ASMR of the doing nothing
Hmm.
filming of the whatever morning routine, daily routine. But
Yeah.
then when people thought like TikTok was going away and everyone was like revealing their secret of like, well, now that TikTok's going away,
Mhm.
I'm going to reveal my secret. And so many of these creators or influencers, whoever, were then revealing like, I don't actually do this morning routine that I showed you. I don't actually do this thing. Or like this workout I said is actually bullshit. I don't really do that. Like, which
Damn,
was
really?
crazy to me that I was like, wait a minute, what? Like,
Oh, I missed that part.
yeah, no, like, because then I found creators that were like showing the top 10 or the top whatever, or people would screen record or save these videos because then a lot of people got flack and removed it. But especially the morning routine ones
Yeah.
or, the super organizational bullshit that everyone's like, yeah, we knew this was fucking bullshit. There's no way someone could keep up this
Yeah. You
whatever
can't.
hyper vigilant or bullshit coffee thing or like, especially have you ever seen, oh, this would probably be my walk it off. You ever seen these bullshit ass ice cubes that people have? They're like heart shaped ice cubes and
Oh no,
whatever
I've
trays,
seen
all
like
these special trays that seem like they
yeah,
take forever to make. I'm like, who's got the time?
yeah,
Who
yeah.
what? Just
TikTok is
bullshit
very like
aesthetic.
yeah. TikTok is very bad for making you want shit you didn't even like think about, like where you're just like, I never wanted this, I never knew it existed, I never thought about these things, these were never once in my life, and then I get on TikTok and I feel like, oh well, I should have this now, and it's like, why?
Oh,
You were fine without it, like you were perfectly fine without it.
terrible overconsumerism. Or actually,
Mm,
this is probably great to get your male opinion on.
mm,
I saw a girl's rant that I feel is fair. And what's interesting is women will probably get flack for it of like not being a girl's girl to even like have this thought or rant. But I relate to it of like, I think there's a lot of female gym outfits right now that, first of all, are partly unhygienic because of the
mm,
material they're made out of,
mm,
but also like very distracting and I also don't know how women work out in them.
mm.
That they'll
Yeah,
be like
like
I
tight
don't
stuff.
I don't even know the word to use to describe it without like getting heat. That like I almost want to say like too hoochie. That they're
Okay,
like
yeah.
too cut out, too mesh, too
Hmm.
like barely covering your bits. That I'm
Yeah,
like, how's anybody doing anything in these?
right.
And then on top of it, there'll be all these videos of people recording themselves and then being like, how dare this man be looking at my ass? And I'm like,
It's like,
girl, there's it's in your ass
it's
crack.
like, you mean
I would be looking.
the
I would
ass
be
that you've
looking.
been working on for 6 months that now you've fucking wrapped in cellophane and brought to the gym? Like, yeah,
Yeah, like it's
you're
a
gonna
very
look.
bright color. It's meant
Hmm.
you're like it's not a thong, but it's like practically a thong. There's just like
Yeah,
a lot going on
yeah,
that it's there's something where it's like I'm trying to think like if I had a daughter cuz there is a line where it's like yeah, you want to be like dress how you want, but you also have to understand if you dress in a certain way, it's going to call for attention. So then if
yeah.
you don't like the attention you get wearing certain things, you have to realize like that is what you chose on a certain level.
Right. And also in the gym, there are hot people in the gym. Like, hot
Yeah.
people go to the gym. Like, that's how they stay hot. So if you're in the gym, like, expect, you don't want to be ogled. Like, you shouldn't be ogling people in the gym, but people are going to check each other out in the gym.
Yes, I
That's
do
just
it.
part of it. That's just part of the fact of the gym. And also there's like an admiration in the gym. We're like, damn, like they're strong, they're fit, they look good. Like, it's like where you're like, damn, I'm trying to get like that. Or even just looking at people's outfits where you're like, oh, that's a nice gym outfit. Like, I want that, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's part of it. So you can't be in the gym like in short shorts, expecting not to get a 3 mirror glance, the little reflection glance, where it's like, let me
Right.
bounce the look off of here to look over here to look over there. I'm gonna look like I'm looking at myself, but really I'm looking at her over in the corner.
Yeah, yeah, that's a way to put it. Because I'm like, I saw this one girl who was just had a killer body. Wasn't
Hmm.
at all in an inappropriate outfit in any way. Like, was a
Yeah.
sports bra and whatever, biker shorts. And I caught her doing the what the hell is the exercise where it's like you put the bars basically on your hips and you're off
Hip
the
thrust.
bench. Yes, hip thrust. Um, and she was doing heavy weight, and I
Hmm.
just like glanced over and I just was like, damn, like just a quick like, damn, she
Yeah.
looks good in shape. She's got abs, and I just was like, oh man, like she's killing it. But you know what I mean? Of like some outfits I see on TikTok though, I'm more like, oh, that is a very low quality fabric.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That I'm like, oh, that's
S-
gonna get sweat through, or that's like barely holding up the tits. Where
Some
I'm like,
Timu outfit.
yeah, basically, where I'm like, that is just such low quality that I'm like, that's
Right.
not gonna hold up for an actual workout.
How practical of you.
Or I think I saw some line some girl said that she was like, that's an outfit that's gonna throw off your pH. And I was like, that's well put.
Damn.
That's so well put.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be good for you.
I've never, like, that's something men don't have to worry about like y'all do. That's so crazy. It's like I've never put on a pair of shorts thinking like, damn, this is really gonna fuck up my balance with my balls.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
but it's a real figure. A lot of times I'm like, yeah, sometimes if I'm really gonna go work out, I'm like, I'm in a baggy t-shirt.
Right, yeah.
Like if I'm really
Yeah.
moving and sweating,
Yeah,
I need
exactly.
something I can wipe my face with as I'm drenched in a spin class, or I need a
Yeah.
towel. Right,
I
so
mean, I do appreciate a good gym outfit though. Like the gym has become like, because people show themselves, like record themselves in the
yes,
gym, it's become like a little fashion,
no, it has.
place. Like where it used to be like you knew somebody was working out because you saw them in real life. And you're like, damn, you've been working out. Like you saw the change 3 months later and you touch their arm, like, something's going on here, buddy. But like now it's like, oh, I gotta show you me in the gym. I gotta set up the amount of tripods I see in my gym now.
That's
even
what
they're
I'm saying.
like some gyms have like specific lighting where they like put like the basic
Oh
like
my
ring
god.
lights in the ceiling, you know?
Shut up.
So you're
Does it
just
really?
like, yeah, yeah. And it's like, all right, so you're spending an extra 30 minutes in the gym now because you're like setting up your fucking angles here,
Ugh.
Scorsese, to, show off your dumbbell incline press when really you could just dress like, like form fitting clothes outside of the gym and people know you work out.
I know. Well, I guess here's what I'll say on the plus side of like the cute gym outfits.
Hmm.
Sometimes that does motivate people to go work out. Like
Yeah.
you get a new outfit or you get a cute outfit,
Mhm.
and putting on the cute outfit does make you maybe want to go to the gym to show off
Yeah.
your cute outfit. So
Yeah.
I'll put that in the plus point.
I'm pro
But
cute outfit.
right, I'm pro cute outfit, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I guess there's like a line to it a little bit that I'm like,
Yeah. I'm
there's
pro cute
also
outfit. I'm a little more like on bringing a tripod to the gym, you know.
yes, that's the part that
Unless
gets annoying.
unless that's your whole like unless that's really become your job, and I guess everybody's got to start somewhere with it, whatever. But like unless you're like, "Hey, I am a fitness instructor," or whatever it is that like, yeah, I have to bring equipment to the gym.
Yeah,
If
I
you're just
understand for
doing it just
progress or to
yeah,
see
if
your
you're just doing
form.
it just to show like, like, "Oh, I worked out today." It's like, "Yeah, get the fuck out of here, dude."
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't need to do every single thing and every single time and every single rep.
Mm-mm.
Because this is the thing I saw that I wanted to do about my gym walk it off. I noticed at my gym there is a sign by the cardio machines that says 20-minute maximum if there are people waiting for the cardio machines.
Wow.
So first of all, I think that's bullshit of
Yeah.
20-minute maximum. I think it should
Yeah.
be longer. Second, I've never really seen a line for the cardio machines except for the Stairmaster ones because there's only 4 of them.
Mhm.
Um, Now, what I think is bullshit is the weight section is always the packed section.
Yeah.
That it's always feels impossible to get the like free weights and a bench. There is no sign over there about time limit maximum, and I think there should be over there because
Mhm.
that's every time I go there, that's the part I have a problem with, or I'll skip parts of my workout because I hate waiting.
Yeah.
And people will be dilly dallying on their phone or taking their sweet time. And I'm always like, what's the etiquette there with like, can I ask people like, hey, when you're resting, can I use your bench? Because I hate watching people on their phone there for like 10 minutes in between their sets.
Would you be okay with a no phone gym?
Yeah, I'm like, I would. That's the part that drives me the most crazy because I'm like, when
That's
I'm there, I want to get in and out. I don't like dilly dallying on the thing. And with your
yeah.
headphones, if you know how to use them, you could skip to the next freaking song. It's not hard.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of gym etiquette that could be fixed, you know.
But I'm
Especially
like,
like
what is the etiquette of the fucking benches? Sorry, I cut you off.
the etiquette of the benches. I mean, yeah, I mean, like you're right. I mean, it's really just comes down to people being on their phones too long between the sets. I mean, that alone can add like 5 minutes between each set if you're dicking off long enough.
Yeah, but
Um,
I was like, there should be a sign near the bench that's like,
yeah.
even if it was like, you have this bench maximum an hour.
Hmm. Oh, I
I'm
mean,
like, people are there
Jesus, an hour
forever.
is crazy. Yeah, if
Well, I
you got it
mean,
for an
yeah,
hour.
but just some sign that's like, hustle up.
Yeah. No, there should be. And put your weights back where if put the 60
Oh,
pound
the
weights in the
weights.
60-pound slot. Put the 30s in the 30s. Like
The
what the
weights are
fuck?
not in the correct spot ever.
That
Drives me
drives me up
crazy.
a wall, dude. Like luckily my gym's pretty good about it, but if you go, you get what you pay for because if you go to like a Planet Fitness or whatever,
Hmm.
they do not give a fuck. People are putting 10s next to 30s and mix matching them together and it's like you guys suck, dude. Or the people this shit. Fuck hogging a bench. Hogging weights. When I see people with like 4 sets
Yeah,
of dumbbells like all stacked up on each other, it's like, bro, you're not using all these right now. There's no
no,
possible way.
no, it's
So
crazy.
yeah. No.
Yeah, I saw
Ugh.
this sit like I'm like 20 to 30 is like my handheld weights. I'm not, packing
Mhm.
fucking 50s. Someone keeps putting the 60s in the 15 spot and I'm like, who cuz you didn't want to bend over to the second row? I'm like, I don't
But I'm like, if you're strong enough to pick up the
I
60s, you're
know.
strong enough to put them back where they belong.
But it's also rude as hell. I'm like, you think the 15-pound person can move these?
You're-
Like, who the fuck?
yeah,
It's rude as hell
yeah.
to us.
Yeah, and that's very demoralizing when it's like
Uh,
you gotta ask somebody to move those weights to the appropriate spot for you.
yeah. I'm like, I'm not even squatting these. What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
No,
fair.
it's ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. One last segment here, and then we will wrap up. We do just a little bit. We do bits we're working on. Do you have any bits you want to talk out that you're working on?
I don't know. I'm I've been talking about like the administration and shit recently, but the one thing that keeps crossing my I don't even this isn't even necessarily a bit. It's just like a line, but I would like to explore the idea of the fact that like because we're seeing all these like billionaires fuck up the earth right now, like or just like our government, like it's only men. Like we never hear from
Hmm.
female billionaires. Like cuz they got what they wanted. Like it's like I
Yeah.
if you got $1 billion, it's like what are you going to you think I'm going to work now? Like I'm not going to like put myself in a position of being government, which is the most stressful thing
Mm-hmm.
and the most scrutinized thing. There's no like no matter what you do in politics, there's always going to be somebody upset with what you're doing in politics.
For sure.
So like I really just think it comes down to like do you think do you think like as a woman do y'all worry about your legacy? I feel like men worry about their legacy so much that this is like a, a side effect of that. Like these billionaires are like, "Oh, what's my
Mm-hmm.
impact on the world?" You know? Like how are people going to remember me? But like female billionaires don't like care to be fucking remembered forever. It's like, "All right,
Well, I was like, the female billionaires I can think of like help other people.
they usually help other people."
They
And
want to be they want to be thought of as like nice and
yeah.
helpful.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Bezos' ex-wife is donating all that
Exactly.
fucking money.
Yeah.
Like, I,
And they're all like I looked up like the top 10 most pretty much all of them are heiresses, like
Mhm.
they inherit the money. But yeah, it's like you don't know who they are unless you're like really like donating.
Yeah, or it's almost like did they have to work even harder? So once they get there, they're like, now I'm gonna relax. Like I feel, I mean, even women I know that just like work their ass off and then come into a lot of money. Not even could not come into a lot of money, just finally get a lot of money.
Mhm.
A lot of times they're like, oh, now I can finally hire other people so that I don't have to work as much. So they're like, oh,
Mhm.
I can finally outsource more.
Yeah.
I mean, even Audrey Hepburn like just made a ton of money and then was like, I'm just gonna have a charitable life now. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
more women realize like money isn't the secret to happiness. So then they're
Or
like,
it
I
just
don't need all
yeah.
this.
Or it's like, yeah, you get to a certain lifestyle where it's like, yeah, all right, well, I'm good. Like I'm not going to keep working. Like who cares? Like I'm not going to force myself to keep being in the spotlight and doing all this shit. It's like I could just ride off into the sunset
Yeah.
and
Or they
do
just
what
go
I
back
want
to
to.
spending time with their family and their
Family.
children.
Yep.
They're just like, yeah, and I know I'm not gonna get that time back. So they're like, okay, I'll go hang out with my kids.
Yeah.
And men are like,
Yeah.
I gotta build the empire. Still, it's like you have an empire.
Right.
You have it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I would never want to like take the thing I've made hugely successful and then transition into politics. Like the
I mean,
worst form of work.
well, maybe it's actually this. Women struggle a lot more with not being liked.
Mm-hmm.
And you tap into politics, you're immediately not going to be liked by at least 50% of the world.
True.
So maybe that's more what it is men are better at being like, you don't have to like me.
Yeah.
So then when you're in a more charitable aspect, it's more, oh, I give to this organization. I'm immediately in a room with a whole organization of people that are thanking me and liking me, and I look
Mm-hmm.
good. But it's right in your face of just fully being liked, and you're not getting tweeted at by millions of people being like, how fucking dare you, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe that's a big aspect of it, of
Yeah.
because even I just think like friends of mine, I'm like, yeah, women as a whole struggle with not being liked,
Yeah.
that we
Fair.
don't want to ruffle feathers in that way.
Fair. Speaking of women, on Netflix, there's all these serial killer documentaries or like whatever, like or like the Gabby, whatever her name is, like these true crime docs.
Uh-huh.
Netflix should just rename that section to just dead white bitches.
Dead white dead white women.
Yeah, because like It's all that's what it is every time. It should be like, celebrating diverse voices, buddy comedies, dead white women, like, and
Hmm.
here's all the true
Or just the
crime,
for
like,
women section, like porn.
yep, yep, where it's just like she went hiking or she
Uh-huh.
thought he was a cool guy, and it's the same thing every fucking time, and it's just always, oh, those two, they fell fast in love so quick, but I always knew something was just wrong with him, and it's just like, here we go,
Uh-huh.
same shit every time.
Well, someone could argue you could name it women's number one predator section.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause that is a I am someone that has not succumbed to the murder obsession. I did
yeah.
get into recently. There's this case, the Natalia Grace one, which is like the kid. Well, it was debated as she was she a kid, was she an adult? 'Cause she was like a little person, but also had like some deformities. So it was argued of like what was her age when she was adopted. And I
Oh,
got
what?
like
So they were like, this could be a 23-year-old woman that got
basically
adopted.
that's the whole thing. So there's like two sides. There's the parent side, and then there's her side, et cetera, et cetera. So I like got into this rabbit hole because there's a TV show out right now that's like based on her.
Hmm.
But other than like that, recently, I really don't dive into any of those murder things because it also technically isn't a murder. It's just like, how old is this kid?
Yeah.
And like, are the parents fucked up and wrong? Whatever. But
Well,
other than that, I don't dive into murder stuff because I'm like, I'm already a big chicken. I'm too
yeah.
much of a chicken. I don't need to watch more murder things. I'm already head
Well,
on a swivel. I don't like the dark.
yeah.
I don't like walking in my car at night. I don't need to watch more murder things.
Yeah. Well, I've heard like women feel like, because I've asked before, and they're like, oh, we watch those so like we can pick up on clues and know like what to do. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't. Like, you're not. And even if you did, it's not going to work. Like,
It's not gonna work.
it's not gonna work. And then also it's like these people aren't picking up, like whoever's watching is not picking up on clues because they keep coming out with new episodes of podcasts and documentaries and on actual regular television. That I'm like, whatever tips you're doing or thinking, yeah, they're not sinking in because you're not using them because these dudes keep getting you.
Well, I think the ultimate thing I think is it basically just plays on like love is a drug and love is blinding, and
Hmm.
maybe the real thing we have to take from it is when you think your friend is having the love is blind, the love is a drug, you as the friend need to tell your friend something's wrong.
Yeah.
And they gotta snap out of their trance.
Mm.
Both your female friends and your male friends. Because that's the ultimate question, right? Is like if you don't like who your friend is with and you think there's something wrong with the person your friend is with and they're not right for them for whatever reason, do you say something? 90% of people say no. They stay
Yeah.
the fuck out of it. Do
Hmm.
we change that aspect of society?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
That's
think
fair.
most people don't say anything.
Will you say like, hey, this dude's trash?
Well, I think we all feel like we have to have a reason.
Yeah.
If you go, I just feel like this guy's creepy, there's not like hard evidence to say that.
I've had it before where, I mean, I've told friends before where it's like, no, what? Really?
You have?
Yeah.
Like what? Or do you just play the game where you go, what do you like about him?
Yeah, I've asked that, or I'm just like, or I've been like, nah, I think you could, I think you could do better. Like
You
I've
think you could
had,
do better? Did
yeah,
they
yeah.
listen?
Um, eh, debatable. No. Yeah,
Have you had
I've had.
anyone do it to you?
Ooh, you. You know?
Yeah, I have that personality.
Yeah, you're my only friend that'll be like, I don't see a dog. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. And I'll be like, I'm seeing. I don't know. I'm seeing. And you're like, yeah, I don't get it. I don't know what you're seeing. But
Well, if you can't articulate it to me, then I really don't know what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So
also, I am your closest. I'm one of your closest friends. So, like,
yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm really getting all
yeah.
the
All the deep.
juice, then
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't
yeah.
get it.
No, no, for sure, for sure. But yeah, I still
But I also will be like, do you want to know what I want? What I really think?
exactly. You will do that. You go. Want to know what I think? Hey, this is bullshit. I don't think. I don't think it's a good match at all. And this little thing that she's doing, I don't like that. I'm like, all right, all right. So
Well,
yeah, you'll keep it real on that for real.
well, okay. Well, this is also why I say I think it's good to have friends of the opposite sex because it's like
No,
you
yeah,
can
no,
pinpoint.
yeah, I
I'll be
think
like,
so too.
this is some women shit, and I know
Mm-hmm.
what this move is. I'll be
Yeah,
like, you don't see it. I see it.
yeah. And I believe it when you say it. I'm like, all right, that's true, that's fair. But
Not
yeah,
that it
but I
happens
also like
often.
I'm not like the one that gets blinded by love like these people. You ain't gonna murder me. Like it'd be damn near impossible because like I can fall in love with somebody, but I'm still like I'm falling in love with you, but I keep my eye on you. Like like
I mean, you're also a man. It's a little
y-
harder, but yeah.
yeah, but I'm just saying it's like I still keep it in reality where I'm like, yeah, this could fuck up at any moment. So,
Mhm.
and you're not just gonna get one over on me, and I'm not just gonna like look past shit. Like if you fuck up with me, it's really hard to kind of like come back. You
Yeah.
know, I'm like, all right, well, now I see you're capable of that. This is about a wrap. I don't know. I don't know if I can look past it.
Yeah. I mean, you and I both know I have somebody that's, uh, I guess, no longer a friend of mine.
Hmm.
And I mean, I told him because he had the girl he was seeing, like, texted me from his phone some fucked up shit.
Mm.
And I was like, dude, what? And then he,
Yeah,
like, was mad at me. He, like, blamed me for whatever. And I was like, bro, I go,
yeah.
some girl crossed some big boundaries and spoke to a friend of yours you've had for 10 years like
Hmm.
this. And I was like, and you're okay with that?
Yeah, that shit was wild.
I was like, I would break up with someone over that, but do what you want to do. I was like, you
That
want
shit
to.
was wild. I do like when that
When I
happened,
asked you, I
I would
was
have
like,
yeah, I would have talked to my girl that was talking crazy and be like, "The fuck is your problem?"
yeah,
I'd
I
be like,
don't.
"This is it." I'm like, "We're
Yeah,
done."
that I was like, I don't know how this is my fault on any means.
At all.
That I
Yeah.
was like, I go, not only looking through your phone, but messaging people, pretending to be you.
Nah, yeah, see, that's crazy behavior. When I see that, I'm like, "Oh, so you're crazy."
Yeah, that I was
I'm
like,
dating a
absolutely not.
crazy person. Whoa, I didn't know you hit it so well. I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, no apology to me, but I was like, "Hey, man, do what you want to do." But for me, that would be grounds for dismissal. That would
Yeah,
be
exactly.
ending it. But I was like, "Oh, you want to not be friends with me anymore? Fine, but
Mhm.
good luck with that." I was like, "Good luck with that relationship."
Yeah, truly.
But I looked at
Done.
you like, "Am I crazy, or is that?" You're like, "No, I would dump her." I was like, "Okay, yeah, that
Yeah, I
I
would have
dump
been
anybody."
out. I would have been so out. Oh my god.
Yeah, but that was the moment I looked at you, being like, "If some man ever did that through my phone, and I was being like, I think I'll still stay with them," I was like, "I'd hope you'd look at me and be like, break up with him,
No,
because
yeah,
that's
yeah. First of all, you
wild
ain't going through my
behavior."
phone. You ain't going through my phone, and you ain't
Yeah.
texting people from my phone unless I'm driving and I say, "Hey, text that person from my phone."
Literally, yeah. Unless
Yeah, ain't
that's
no
insane
possible
behavior.
way.
No, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Well, I mean, I'm like, we're at almost an hour. I'm like, I don't want to keep you all day. Although we could chat all day.
Yeah.
But I hope you had fun on the new format of the show, on the new pod.
Yeah. Bring me
And
back. When
uh,
Teresa gets back, have me on there again.
yeah, I know you got to come. You got to come have the full new format of the show. Two stand up gals, and
Yeah, yeah.
and you have your new pod, brand new
Yeah, I
homies.
got my pod, brand new homies. It's me and Antonio Kareem, who
Yes.
is also out of town right now, West Coast, and just ignoring my text messages.
He ignores text. I know. I hit him up being like, "You want to hang? I'm out here," and I don't know what he's up to. He's an enigma of a person.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
opposite of filming his everyday morning routine.
Yeah, yeah. He's somewhere in
He's
the woods, like
yeah,
doing crisscross applesauce, being one
yeah,
with the earth and universe.
yeah.
Uh,
Good for him.
but yeah,
Well, that was with T. I was like, "Do you want to record while you're on vacation and bring your laptop and mic?" She goes, no." And I was like,
I'm
"Good for
like,
you. All right, I'll figure it out.
yeah. She's like,
Enjoy your
absolutely not.
yeah." All right. Well, thank you for joining me, and thank you everyone for listening or watching on YouTube. And and up next is a Patreon preview, so stay tuned. And talk to you next week. Bye. I did end up going on a date this past weekend. And it was not someone from Singles Event. It was from Bumble. Been browsing the Bumble, as I've mentioned. And this was part of why I was a little bit in my feels on Wednesday with T. We were talking about some dating stuff off mic. And, ooh. I just had one of those dates that takes the wind out of your sails, you know? And I'm not gonna lie, there was part of me going into the date feeling this like, you know, I just don't think the roommate is for me, that we're meshing in um whatever type of way. Just it's not the click I was hoping for, and clearly I've given it a lot of time to get there, grow into something possibly. So I was like, there's other people out there, and I had that thought and feeling going into the date, like, all right, yeah, we're gonna see. There's other people out here that we have maybe a better conversationally or whatever it is. Just needed like a pick me up date that would actually lift my spirits, and woo, it did not. If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode and get extra episodes every week, join the Patreon, which is patreon.com/2standupgals. Or you can also now join from the Apple Podcast app, right from your phone. You'll also get ad-free episodes of the public podcast, in addition to the extra episodes every week. So to join, go to patreon.com/2standupgals.